What's up, guys? I'm Tylar Bryant. Be sure to stick around for the entire show because I'm going to be playing my new single, Stay Wild.
Coming up today on The Spiel.
I hope you never lose those NASCAR dreams. I hope you keep chasing after number 3.
I'm here with Danielle Macdonald to talk about her delightful new romantic comedy, Falling for Figaro.
That's what I've seen so much is with young girls, and you need to turn to the right kind of love. I'm so fired up about this next segment.
The heat is what I would consider perfect.
Here we go! And I am so happy that you're here today. We're going to spiel it together. The show has become a lot like a roller coaster ride. We're going to take some twists and some turns and bring on some people you know, some people you don't, some people you're going to get to know today, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I promise. But before we get into all of that, I want to talk about Mrs. Lucas, Jacob, Mrs. for failure to keep your eyes wide open. That's something that I talked about this week on a podcast, Great on Purpose with Alfonso Alexander. If you have not seen this or listened to it, please look it up. It is such a good podcast. I felt kind of awkward, the third guest in a lineup of just rock stars. Anthony Flynn, he's the guy that is known for just accelerating key executives across the country. His venture, it's called Amazing CEO. I think that's how you'll find him if you Google. Some of his clients, the motivational speaker, Eric Thomas. Do you guys know E.T., the hip hop preacher? You guys know him? If you don't, listen, you gotta listen to him.
I don't want nothing from you but for you to leave this room and know what you want. What do you want in your marriage? What do you want with your son and your daughter? What do you want in your health? What do you want financially? Like, how much money do you want to make a year?
Now, if that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what will. I mean, failure is not an option for that guy. Also, Fred Lowry, he's a business superstar leading a multi-billion-dollar company. Not millions. Billions with a B. And can you imagine managing 68,000 employees worldwide? I mean, how would you have a meeting?
You don't have the meeting.
You don't have the meeting. See, I love the way you think, Lucas. You don't ever show up for a meeting. I don't know. But anyway, opportunities like that, you want to keep your eyes wide open. You want to take advantage of those things. The next awards in Nashville, Tennessee. We were there to cover those and actually following a client of ours, Delisa and Elde Guerrier. You may or may not know them, but you will soon. They are the founders of the remarkable Storyville Gardens, and they were there to present an award. And this award show is super cool because it recognizes not only entrepreneurs, but those emerging in the business world, making a name for themselves. I mean, we learned about new technologies that are coming, real estate, hospitality, construction, leaders in their field, and it was very inspiring. And then there was a music, sports, entertainment category, and then that's where we saw Delisa and Elde up on stage. They did a great job. And you've got to keep your cameras in such position. You know where I'm going with this story, right? You have to keep your cameras positioned in a way to get all of this action as it's happening. You know, people are changing places at the podium. So we're in position, and all of a sudden this lady starts talking about just this powerhouse woman, a country superstar, they say. So now your ears perk up. But she's also a chef. She's an author, a business owner, a TV personality, and apparently has one of the most listened to songs ever. Country superstar. Any guess? Female. Most listened to country song.
Martina McBride.
Shania Twain. Dolly Parton.
See, I'm sorry. Trisha Yearwood. The year was 1991. She's in love with the boy. You guys know the song? Still played today? Okay. I cannot with this group. But anyway, she was very humble in her acceptance speech, and I loved it because, again, eyes wide open, right? And I'm watching her in the stage because, first of all, nobody expected her to be there. And she walks out, and we're sitting right there stage side. So I've got Jacob on one side, I think, with a camera. Lucas is up in the balcony just behind us with a camera, right? And Trisha Yearwood is right there in front of us, delivering a remarkable speech, right? She turns her head and says, you know, my sister's here with me tonight. I'd like to thank my sister, right? And then she goes, and my husband, Garth. Okay, so at this point, it's awkward. I turn around. There he is, Garth Brooks, right there, right there. Do you think that either of these guys, Jacob or Lucas, did you turn the camera? You saw her eyes on her husband, and you just...
I wasn't in the room.
Where were you?
I already packed up and left.
Oh, my. See, you cannot get good help anymore. You cannot get good help anymore. But anyway, we do have proof. Here's a picture. She had it posted on her social media. And Garth was in the house. He was right there with us. And, you know, we missed it. We missed that opportunity. But he was probably up in the balcony because he didn't want to be bothered. They didn't want cameras on them. Is that right, Ryan?
That's what I would think. If I were famous, that's what I would do.
Okay.
I would hide.
Well, you're going to be famous because I want you guys to step in for me because I got some stuff I need to go do. Can you do that? Yep. Okay.
So I guess it's just you and me that are going to do this now.
So, Rob, you were telling me that you've been studying the Indian office for our move to Mumbai.
I wouldn't say I've been studying it. I watched a couple episodes of it, and I had to do a lot of reading because it's all subtitled because I don't understand Hindi.
Okay, well, in that email you sent me, you said we're going to start covering Bollywood musicals.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
So my favorite part about Bollywood musicals is how grand and ridiculous they are, right? So there's like always shiny stuff, and then it's like there's 17 different locations. You watch Bollywood like on a regular basis?
I'm afraid not. I only specifically watch food-related content, interviews, and country music stars.
So you watch the Spiel?
Yeah. So that's why I'm a little confused. Are we still doing all those things on the Spiel?
Yeah. So the culture in Mumbai is way different than what we have here.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna need to study if we're gonna make the
so
jump.
let's go ahead and start watching The Office, the Indian Office, and we need to learn Hindi. I guess is that what they speak in Mumbai?
Yeah.
So we need to learn Hindi. All right. So setting up right now, we have Haley Ottolini, the founder of the Mosaic Initiative. She just recently set up these efforts that are designed to shake up the whole entire world.
Later, we're hanging out with Tyler Bryant, a new up-and-coming country music artist who's got an awesome new single that you're going to hear today on the Year On segment of the Spiel.
This past year has been a difficult year in the medical field and a difficult year for patients as well. We've established a program that allows for video visits. We offer video visits 7 days a week, 365 days a year. By offering video visits, patients can be seen and evaluated in the comfort of their own home. Christopher Rural Health offers 12 clinics throughout Southern Illinois, and we'll be happy to help you in any way we can.
My dad came here in the early 50s and started. My name's John Smith. My brother Terry and I have Smith Dairy Farm. We're producers of milk for Prairie Farms Dairy. We're outside at 4:30 in the morning. Cows need fed 365 days a year, and you learn the mannerisms of each animal. You learn who they are. Prairie Farms, they depend on us to be finished milking at a time when the truck's going to come to get the milk. We're all one big team.
Proudly farmer-owned.
It's part of what we've been raised to do.
Prairie Farms.
It's fall. The leaves are changing. It's the best time to camp. At Larry's Trailer Sales, you can find new luxury fifth wheels, along with 23 new cargo trailers and 25 lightweight travel trailers of popular brands such as Jayco and Winnebago. Trade-ins are available. Home of the warranty forever, Larry's Trailer Sales, serving you since 1966.
Well, we know this show is all about fun and good times, and we've had that together. But, it's also so refreshing. We know that there's bad going on in the world, and when a superhero shows up, like this lady right here, Haley Ottolini, and, you're in the house, you're talking about something so important, the Mosaic Initiative. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, I tell you, I've been blown away. I've sort of watched from a distance what you were doing, and as I told you, I went to your website initially, and I'm reading, and I said, oh, well, she's joined with this group, or she's helping to make a difference here in our small corner of the world. But in fact, honey, you started it here. I mean, you're going after the bad guys.
Well, one, I would definitely never classify myself in like the hero category, even remotely. I think there's a quote by Christine Kane, and to summarize it, it says something about it takes a lot to be made uncomfortable by injustice, but we also have to do something about it.
No doubt.
And so, it does take effort to allow yourself to be made uncomfortable, and it's worthy of that.
No doubt.
So.
Yeah, I saw you online, and you were talking about an uncomfortable subject that as a parent, we try to protect our kids. We know that this phone will take them anywhere on the web. They can see inappropriate content. We know now that, many of those girls, they're enslaved, and they're being forced into situations that were beyond their control. And you're following right along with those people, monitoring it, trying to shut those sites down, maybe keep kids from being trafficked and, exploited. And that is a huge task. Goodness.
Yeah, well, so far we've mainly been, as far as our involvement in that area specifically, we've done a lot of just awareness pieces. And then I also have attended a few of the Nicosia global summits, and they're the ones really leading the charge, and I follow along. But I do like to do little segments on my Facebook or different things like that to kind of help people who aren't in our field make sense of what's going on, because I think a lot of times you get little glimpses here and there of maybe court cases that have come up or things like that, and I try to kind of explain it in a way that if you aren't as involved as we are, you're going to be able to understand it, what's going on, because it's important to understand.
It is so important, and you said, you just hit the nail on the head there. Part of the problem is so many times in life, we tend to go through life with our head down, and we're just focused on what we're doing. And if you would keep, we've said this throughout the show, your eyes wide open, sometimes you see things, you're like, that's not quite right, or why is that girl acting this way? Is she being held involuntarily? And I love it because you're starting on the front lines with churches and law enforcement, and you're wanting to make people aware, even foster families, because those children already, they're going to need some guidance. They may have seen things or been through things. Why did this start for you, and kind of bring us up to speed of where you are?
Well, so I'm not sure exactly the exact moment when I learned about sex trafficking, but I do know it was sometime in high school, and I was outraged that slavery was still existing and that our world seemingly has said nothing or done nothing about it from my point of view, very limited point of view in high school.
Right.
And so I essentially started reading everything I could get my hands on. I'm very self-taught in that way. There's not really a degree in human trafficking at this point.
Right.
And so I just started reading and learning as much as I could. And then every opportunity that I got, I would either use it as an opportunity to learn more about that, or I would seek out opportunities to kind of join the field. And so I did actually work for a short time in St. Louis, probably about 4 to 6 months, with girls ages 13 to 17 who had survived sex trafficking. After seeing that, and I did a decent amount of international travel as well to start connecting with existing agencies that are doing such a good job pioneering the fight against this injustice. And I noticed burnout was a major component. The lack of communication, and just these people that were working so diligently and so hard in the trenches.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of create an organization that was, originally it was to help build resources from the existing knowledge. And how do we share those amongst groups so that we can kind of create a standard of excellence? Because when vulnerable populations are the collateral damage for work that is not done properly, it's just unacceptable. It's negligent. And so how do we really do the best that we can do and also serve those who are already serving this cause? And when we moved to this area, realizing how under-resourced this area was in that particular issue.
Yeah, I know that, you've listed there on your site that this is most certainly coming from maybe a biblical standpoint or just knowing and sharing that God loves you and, this is done in the name of Jesus. And really, that's what I've seen so much is with young girls, and you need to turn to the right kind of love,
Right.
the love that is wholesome. And so many times people want attention and they may turn to a place they shouldn't, and it gets them in a world of trouble. And now as a result, we have an enormous problem, and you're working
Right.
to combat this. But, it's also understanding that healthy love and not getting in those situations, because you have children, I have a child, and to think that someone would get their hands on our kids and
Right.
do these, just you can't even think about some of these things that are happening. It's gut wrenching, and I know there are parents out there who have gone through it, and good for you that you're trying to come to their rescue and their
And
aid.
some parents are the ones doing it as well.
Yeah.
I think you touch on something really important. One of the main myths that we come across, and it's no fault of anyone's to believe this, it's been perpetuated by Hollywood and things, that abduction is the main avenue for people to get recruited into sex trafficking.
Right.
The reality is that a large percentage of the time it's someone that you know, but also I think it's important to notice that a lot of times it's not there. While there is a threat of force or force or these things used, especially these teenage girls, which are a large percentage of trafficking victims.
Right.
Coercion is used a lot. It's similar to like a domestic abuse survivor, and the love bombing and the grooming that happens. So I think you touch on something really important. Traffickers and abusers, pimps, will oftentimes use that desire for love and that vulnerability of young girls or boys, LGBTQ.
Right.
And exploit that.
Right.
And they use that little piece of attention, or they'll show love, they'll buy them nice jewelry or get their hair done or do these little things and tell them they love them. And it's a Taylor Swift song, right? It's when you're 15 and somebody tells you they love you, you're going to believe them.
Absolutely.
And so that's like one of the larger ways that we see people enter what we call the life. And so I think it's important to know that.
Right.
And a lot of times it's so psychological rather than just physical.
Sure.
And that's what keeps them there. So they really try to break the mentality of a person to gain compliance.
Yeah.
And then eventually they get it.
This is just a fantastic organization, the Mosaic Initiative. I love what you're doing in that, you have reached out to organizations that have been able to fund some of these efforts. Because it takes money, it takes money to put troops on the ground, feet on the ground, and put those resources in place. This is no small feat. You're here in Southern Illinois. I mean, you've obviously done your research and you've connected with people, but this is a global effort, and you're right there with them. I mean, how are you working with some of those groups and people overseas?
Yeah, well, I think moving forward, we're going to be focusing largely on local, but we still will continue that international branch because that's really where my background is working with a lot of different international groups. This past year, we actually partnered with one of our partners called Win the Saints. Okay. They are one of the only existing shelters for assault and trafficking survivors in the whole country of Malawi, Africa. So there was a special victims unit there that had no funding to be able to really get any of the things necessary to create a functioning special victims unit.
Right.
And the fact that they had a special victims unit in that small village was honestly already like so impressive.
Yeah.
And pioneering in itself because they have so many other issues to combat with the poverty and everything else.
Right. But you have your nose to the grindstone. You guys, I mean, everybody working collaboratively together. It is a problem. If you're not aware, you need to make yourself aware of it. You guys are helping to bring some of those sites down because, I mean, we know in a perfect world that would not even be available out there because it's only fueling the fire. And think about that, everybody has done it. It's so easy to do it. It looks so, welcoming, those buttons, and before you know it, you've gone down a really dark hole. So try to steer clear of that. And we want to help more. So how do we get involved locally? How can people reach out? How can we make a difference?
So usually I say giving time, talents, money, Those things are really good to give, and support.
Love that.
Any level of support. Usually in the holiday season, we have an opportunity for people to sign up to write little letters of prayers or support, and I can get those to our partners overseas.
Fantastic.
That's in the past been really encouraging to them, just to know that they have people rallying behind them and covering them in prayer, covering them in their thoughts. And,
Absolutely.
yeah, so there's that way to get involved. We'll have volunteer opportunities moving forward. There's obviously different degrees of volunteering.
Sure.
We can't just let everyone, volunteer in the home, but we will have volunteer opportunities that are more significant time commitments.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, let's do it. It's important, and thank you so much, and thank you for taking on the cause. And boy, you didn't choose an easy one, did you? It wasn't an easy cause by any means.
Usually
right?
the important things I don't think are easy.
They're never easy. They're never easy, no. But thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll be right back.
Chef Rob here. Never forget, choose 100% dairy and accept no substitutes. Dedicated farmers, happy cows, real milk. Prairie Farms Dairy. Check out our website at prairiefarms.com.
Hey Tyler, you're on next, man. And coming up later in the show, we have fired up jams and jellies. You can't miss it. Oh, welcome back to the Spiel. We're happy you're here.
Okay, listen, okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, so this show has been all about rarities, oddities, just doing things that we have no business doing anyway. Are you guys down for that?
Sure.
I mean, you've been practicing, like you said, this is a married couple, right? And you said rather than a 7-year itch, what have you guys perfected, or what are you working towards in your relationship? Yeah.
We're doing the mythical yoga move, the double-decker cow.
The couples yoga.
The couples, and listen.
It's one we made.
Don't say anything else about it, because you'll have to stay tuned through the whole show to see it in our behind the scenes, because we've already gotten it.
Okay.
I mean, and you guys.
It was live.
It was awesome. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean,
excellent. They have killed it. Okay, so do you like to compete against one another?
Yes.
You always win?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, have you seen this then? The chair challenge?
It's like not competitive.
You've seen this chair challenge?
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
We have now.
All right, so start on this wall. Haley, start on this wall.
Okay.
You're gonna take 2 feet out, just walk 2 feet out, 2 feet out from the wall. 1.
She has baby feet.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Take your chair. Is that good? Okay, take your chair, and just like that, sideways is good. Put it here, okay? So your head is against the wall, and what you're gonna do, Haley, I mean, for women everywhere, okay? You're gonna pick up, you're gonna put your hands on the chair. Okay. So listen, I believe in you. I know you can do it. You're gonna pick the chair up, Haley. That's how, okay? And now you're going to stand up, Haley. You guys see that?
That lower back strength.
Okay, you are in trouble.
She's got 6-pack back.
Good job, good job.
It's all the work.
She's got a 6-pack back. Is that what you just said, Ben?
It just happened.
Did you just say a
Ben. All right, Ben, you're gonna take your feet, you're gonna be bigger here, so you're gonna take 2 feet.
My little tootsies?
2 feet back, okay, right there. Well, okay, is that 2?
I don't
your head
like,
down.
I'm already feeling
Just try it.
not
Just
great
you
about
feel like you're gonna do it? Okay, perfect.
Are you already not
All right,
feeling
Ben,
it?
now you're gonna bring the chair into the, yes,
Okay.
like that. Okay,
gonna start
Ben.
from scratch.
Yeah, okay, now you're gonna pick it up there, and now, see,
I told you he has something.
That was hard.
his feet were too far out. Yeah, too close. Okay, get your feet. We're gonna
Three
prove.
steps, the
We're
roll
gonna
was
prove.
2.
We're gonna prove.
Okay, 3
that
steps.
men cannot do this until we get it right. Yeah, we are.
We're just.
We are. Okay,
No,
right here.
that
This
was
seems
4.
extra far.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
That was 4.
This is not
It
gonna
was
happen.
Head
literally
all
4.
the way. Wait.
Can I just? I'm concussed. I'm okay. I can do this. No, this is too far.
You had to wake him up every hour tonight because he just really hard.
Did you hear the conch? It's okay. Haley tells me I'm hard-headed all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's soft. It's good.
Okay, go ahead.
This-
I'm not going to ease you in again.
This feels like cheating.
Make some calls after this about the abuse.
Yeah, I had a bonk. Somebody had a bonk. Put
All
reverb
right,
on
come
it.
on in. What you got?
Reverb? Did you say put reverb on
Yeah,
it?
put reverb on the bonk.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna get it.
See?
Okay, but I think you're just
Let's
weird.
just play. We'll play the real challenge. I mean, these people are too perfect. I mean, geez.
No, I think
I've been called
he's
worse.
just
That's so good. That's the segment. Now with the break.
My name is Megan Plummer. I'm a family nurse practitioner here in Cesar. I think community is very important. It gives me a chance to really know all of my patients. I would say my favorite part is just when I have a new baby out of the hospital and I get to watch them at their 2-month and 4-month and 6-month well baby checks. And I've been here over a year now, so I've gotten to see them turn a year old, which is one of the coolest things. The patients, I feel like, know that we are here for them.
The Spiel presents You're On, 100% original new music.
What's up, guys? My name's Tylar Bryant, and this is my new single, Stay Wild. I hope you like it. I hope you never lose those NASCAR dreams. I hope you keep chasing after number 3, even if it's on a dirt track in BFE. Stay wild. I hope you always speed through one-line towns. Buy the stranger at the bar one more round. Never let the 9 to 5 tie you down. Stay wild. Wild like the waves on the Outer Banks. Wild like an overtime on team game. Wild like a midnight runaway train. Stay wild. Wild like a Smoky Mountain road trip summer. Wild like a hairband rock and roll drummer. Wild like a buffalo bringing that thunder. Stay wild, stay wild. Stay wild, stay wild. I hope you're not to settle on a cheap seat kind. Hope you're in the front row, light her on fire. Hope you never get her back home on time. No, stay wild. Wild like the waves on the Outer Banks. Wild like an overtime on team game. Wild like a midnight runaway train. Stay wild, wild like a Smoky Mountain road trip summer. Wild like a hairband rock and roll drummer. Wild like a buffalo bringing that thunder. Stay wild, stay wild. Woo. Stay wild, stay wild. Wild like the waves on the Outer Banks. Wild like an overtime on team game. Wild like a midnight runaway train. Stay wild. Wild like a Smoky Mountain road trip summer. Wild like a hairband rock and roll drummer. Wild like a buffalo bringing that thunder. Stay wild, stay wild. Stay wild, stay wild.
I think there's a lot of things that veterans enjoy in their normal daily life, but they lose a lot of that when they're going through that PTSD.
But the whole health aspect gives us options It gives us options like maybe I don't have to take a pill for this. Maybe I can work on myself with meditation and with yoga.
Giving your mind something to distract and interrupt those thoughts, I think, is important, and that's what the whole health team helps you do.
So it's really about giving control and power back to somebody when they're already feeling powerless.
At John A. Logan, I teach about half of all the classes that are offered in construction management, and this is my 4th year. I've got 20 years of experience in the field in construction. I tell all my students that you get what you want out of this program. You get what you put into it. If you come in and go really hard and are here every day and do the work, this program will make you successful.
And Tyler, it's a pleasure having you here. It was awesome listening to you. And I have to tell you, in doing my research, I love your pie analogy, right? So the artist bakes the pie. But then, man, when you got to dole out all those pieces and when you're trying to make it, do you find that little piece is left for you? What are you finding with the pie these days?
I try to keep a good significant amount of the pie for myself.
Okay.
But, because I like to eat.
Yeah,
but
there you
anyway, you know, working with my friends and people that I'm close with, you know, it makes it easier to, you know, dish out, you know, those pieces of pie because it's like, hey, I want you guys to succeed as I'm succeeding. So hey, we all win here.
I love that you admit growing up, I mean, you listened to Tupac and Biggie and Luther and Diana Ross, and then you find your way into the country world. Talk about your country music epiphany. How in the world did you wind up in Music City? How'd that go?
Well, when I finally, I guess, got introduced to it, I just sort of just kind of went submerged in it. I find country music to be peaceful with storytelling and stuff like that. And I was just like, you know what? There's something about this that kind of catches me.
Talk about the day you walked into the Ryman.
Yeah, so we were there during CMA Fest. We did the whole tour thing, and we got to walk behind the stage. Keith Urban was doing a sound check, and I don't know what he was singing, but it was great. And you know, I got these chills all over my body, and I'm like, man, that's weird. That feeling just kind of stuck with me.
You're like, this is what I need to do?
I knew there was something special.
It felt right.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to hear you say that, considering you were an MMA fighter.
Right, and I was fighting at the time. So.
That's quite a leap.
Right. My whole life is quite a leap, actually, so. Yeah.
MMA fighter.
Yeah, I don't even know how I ventured upon that. Actually, so in my hometown, close to my hometown, College Station, there was a gym in the mall. And so I would go to the mall frequently. And I would always pass by there. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm just going to go in there and see what's up. You know?
I'm just going to do it.
And, you know, I punched a couple faces and I was like, hey, I guess this is it. I guess I'll give it a try.
Wow. Those guys make a lot of money, you know?
Yeah, you know. But, you know, I just, the thing was, I was like, I'm just going to do it for fun. But then the coach there, Bubba, he was like, you know, Bryant, a lot of fights go to the ground. I mean, you're pretty good at it. And he just kind of kept poking at me. You know?
Yeah.
I figured I had to hang it up if I'm going to be a country music star.
Yeah,
there's cameras and all that.
Yeah,
and
exactly. You got to keep this, you know, your moneymaker. You got to keep it tight there.
Sure.
Now, I love how you were name dropping already. You mentioned the guy there in the mall. I'm going to talk about a day you're having lunch and you see a couple of people you recognize. You've got Chris Young, right? So did you stare? Did you make it weird?
Oh, man, I did stare. I'm a huge Chris Young fan. I was fangirling so hard. I was like, why is not anybody like worried that Chris Young is in the building right now? This is crazy.
You think they recognized it? Was he just out there?
He was just, I mean, he was recognizable. He was sitting there with his buddies eating lunch. And I'm like, dude, that's Chris Young. You know, I was like taking weird pictures of it and stuff.
Yeah.
And nobody even cared.
And you weren't escorted out or anything?
No, I wasn't.
No, you were actually called to the table of the Chrisleys.
Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't even know it was them.
Todd? You don't know Todd Chrisley?
No, I had no idea.
Goodness.
No idea it was them. And so after they had left, the lady that was cleaning up, she was like, do you know them? I was like, no. They're like, oh, well, I was just wondering because y'all was just sitting here talking. I thought you knew who they were. I was like, well, who are they? Oh, that's Todd Chrisley. I'm like, no way. So,
right. So what'd you talk about?
I mean, it was real small talk. We were just talking about, well, they were telling me that they were new in town. And I think
they made the move from Atlanta.
Yeah, and some about a frozen yogurt shop or something like that.
Yes, they opened a frozen.
And he just conveniently left out that he's a, celebrity.
Got this big show and all that good stuff.
Real estate.
And cameras were rolling and all that stuff, right? No?
People, But that's Nashville, though. You know, somebody's always somebody, and they don't ever tell you. So.
Yeah. You know, I love that sometimes the experiences in life, they make us who we are. They give you stuff to sing about. And, you know, we just went down a long road of your career there, but you also, I read about you doing some mission work. And you know why I loved that little article? It's because you talked about how that really gives you layers in life and depth in life when you do for other people. Can you talk a little bit about that experience and maybe how that's helped to shape you a little bit?
Yeah, so growing up, I mean, I didn't have like the most luxurious childhood at all. I mean, we, there's a lot of siblings, not very much money. And so going on the mission trip, you realize, like, there's a lot of people that are a lot less fortunate than I am. And I realized that I'm like, man, you know what? I'm kind of inconsiderate in some points because it's like, you're stripped away all your creature comforts, your cell phone and your bed and stuff like that. And you're,
Because you were where? Where did you do your trip again?
We were in Mexico.
You went to Mexico, that's
right.
right.
And we were rebuilding this church. And so we played with the kids. I mean, we bought little Hot Wheels and stuff, soccer balls. I mean, we meant the world to those kids. And I'm just like, well, this doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but it meant something to them. And I think that's what it was. I think a lot of time we get so caught up in ourselves and what we're doing to where we just kind of realize that it's like those little things in life that like change you. And those things are like very monumental to me because I'm very like conscious about like what I do and how I treat people and like what I am fortunate enough to do. Like I'm fortunate enough to do this when a lot of people can't,
That's awesome.
And so it definitely keeps me woke, I guess.
Yeah, humility and definitely grounded. And you are one to watch. We thank you so much for coming on the show, and you're doing great things. And we want people to follow you. So the best way is just stalk you on social media. I
would hope so. I hope so. I'm not a huge social media guy, but I get on there. But yeah, check out my website, TylarBryant.com.
Okay.
That's Tyler with an A,
with an A.
Tylar, because he spelled it with an E. That ain't me.
Okay.
So, but also Tylar Bryant Music on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that.
Okay. All right, we're going to throw it over to the kitchen because things are getting hot over there, okay?
Sweet.
Our guest today for the kitchen segment is Fired Up Jellies and Jams. I recently found them out when I was looking for something new to try, and it's a little bit of sweet and a little bit of heat together.
Hey guys, if you like the show, follow us on all of our social media.
That's pretty good. Now it's cute.
My name's Matthew Jacobs, and I never knew what I wanted to do in high school. If you're hesitant on coming to John A. Logan, you need to jump in with both feet. There's so many opportunities here that you wouldn't even know about just reading it on a website or in a book. It worked for me, and it's worked for many others that I've met. Between job opportunities and experience, the things you gain here are no match to anything else out there.
Spieling it in the kitchen, brought to you by Prairie Farms. And guess what, Rob? I'm so fired up about this next segment. You get it?
Yeah, I do. I get it.
We want to thank Smitty and Krista for being here and bringing remarkable ways that you can use this jelly. Let me tell you. So this, we obviously know this is not just for breakfast anymore, right?
Right.
I mean, people are putting this stuff on salmon, your fish, your ribs, your chicken, your shrimp. I mean, they can use it over some, cheesecake now?
Yes.
Listen, so how did this come about? I know you guys started trying out recipes, I think, 2015, is that right?
Somewhere in there, yeah. I came across a habanero carrot jelly. I was amazed at how well the habanero heat backs off.
Right.
And so I was like, what would be good is a strawberry habanero. Ooh. The heat is what I would consider perfect.
Okay.
It's easy for everyone to get into.
Very balanced with the sweet. And then we also had other recipes that we were playing with too, so we wanted to have more than one when we first started.
I love that. And it's crazy how you can take a Prairie Farms cream cheese and put it on a platter and you put some crackers around it and pour this stuff over it. You are a celebrity at any party that you go to, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, people love that.
Yeah.
And, we love to support local. That's the other thing. I mean, if you guys have a small business in your town or you know that somebody's doing great things, remember to support them because it takes people buying all these jars to keep you guys in business, right?
It does.
Yes.
All right. Tell me, I understand that you're now back in the lab and you come up with a third. Is it a third flavor?
Yes. Yes.
We have a strawberry vanilla rhubarb coming.
So it's kind of like your grandma's favorite jelly, but a little bit fired up.
Okay.
We got some vanilla in there. It makes it taste sweet, something extra.
Nice. That's what this is something extra. And I want to have you go through everything, tell me how you would use it, and then anything else you want us to know.
We can start with lunch,
Okay,
right?
that sounds good.
Who doesn't start with the lunch? This is a turkey sandwich. It's got some bacon, some tomato, and some lettuce on there. I really like to just take the peach cinnamon habanero jam.
Look at that. So much better than like a mayo or, you know,
Yeah.
and a lot more flavorful.
And that cinnamon pairs so well with turkey. It's great for, this is like holiday leftovers. You got that Thanksgiving turkey afterwards.
And it's dry,
And
so then you add this, that's all you need.
Something extra.
That acidity off of it will really help out with that dry turkey.
Okay. Now, cheesecake, you were a little daring, and I love that you can use either of your combinations right now for the cheesecake.
We really like this cheesecake one because people think habanero and they're afraid, but the cheesecake is a really easy way to make people not afraid of habanero. Gives you that sweet, a little heat with everyone's favorite.
You've got your milk underneath it, right? You got your dairy just in case you think you're going to be set on fire, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I know you made Brandon super excited with the meatballs because he said, you know, he buys those bagged meatballs, the frozen ones, and it's like, what are you supposed to do with these things?
Yes, we love to do this. You just throw a jar of jelly with some meatballs. You can do it in a skillet or you can do it in a crock pot on low for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Make it really easy, nice appetizer. You can do meatballs. We do little smokies a lot too. Anything like that. And it just makes something so simple a little bit extra.
And you don't want to overdo it, so you would just want to do the one jar to maybe a bag of do you have a proportion?
Yeah, I feel a bag of meatballs would be, one jar would be good. It really depends how much extra sauce you want in there. If you like yours real saucy, you know, you could put more, 2 jars. We're not going to tell you no.
Exactly.
You know? We like to do this with strawberry, but you could also do this with the peach cinnamon too.
I would also suggest that since the jelly has quite a bit of sugar in it, it's going to have a tendency to burn. So if you just add a little bit of butter to the pan.
Well, we happen to have that. Prairie Farms being a sponsor. How about that?
Yes.
The butter will help prevent the jelly from burning.
And then, like we were talking about, that staple, you know, when you go to a, can I do the honors of pouring? Which one would you like me to pour over? Okay. All right.
And that will.
Do you
that kind of loosens it up
just
a bit.
right out of the jar? You don't worry about putting it in the microwave or anything like that?
No.
You can also
look at how
pour
pretty.
the strawberry on there.
Yeah, we just use a fork and it kind of breaks up that pectin in that jelly a little bit and makes it really nice and pourable.
Okay, let's do this one.
Go for it.
All right. All right. Now this is exciting. And you know what? Let's not forget the obvious. When you wake up in the morning and you're ready to kickstart your day, you can still do the toast and put some of this on there. And
when you're doing the strawberry, use the tines to break up the jelly. And that'll make it more pourable.
For people who are intimidated by this process, go through that a little bit for me. How does all that start? Are you stomping the strawberries, or what are you doing there?
No, so we started out making it in our kitchen, and whenever we were doing it in our kitchen, it would take us about 8 hours to produce a case and a half, so about 16 jars of the strawberry.
Wow. Okay.
I ended up finding a co-packer locally who will do it for us, and it takes them about 4 hours to produce 100 cases.
Wow.
So it was a no-brainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you buy it, what's the shelf life for this?
3 years.
Okay, 3 years. And when you open it, you got to go to the fridge with it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and then how long is it good in there?
Up to a year in the fridge.
Okay. You'll just know when the sugar starts to rise, then that when it's time to. Okay, but it will never get there.
No, it won't. There's so many uses, so it won't get there. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, and tell people obviously where to find you, how to buy it, all that good stuff.
Okay, well, you can check us out on our website. It's firedupjnj.com/shop. And first and foremost, we want you to go to all of our local accounts, so you can find them all there.
Okay.
And if you're not local, we do ship, so you can also find that option there as well.
You guys have created a beautiful experience around food. So congratulations, because that's so important this day and age.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
let's get in the kitchens together, right?
Yes.
Yeah. One thing that we like to say is the only time we want to see people divided is whenever we're cutting cake.
Oh, look at that. Listen, and I was told that most of these recipes came from you guys. So you used the product and you shared it, and it was great.
Yes.
So, and what about Prescott used it in a photograph? You probably liked his display, right?
Yes.
It was,
it was
beautiful.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. Stay right there. We need you to subscribe to YouTube so we have as many viewers there as we do on Fox. I think we're at like 1 million plus.
In the military, we're always taught to push forward, to push through the pain. You're always taught to focus on the goal.
They feel that they have renewed hope. Their stress and anxiety are decreased. A lot of them have made comments that they are even sleeping better.
It taught me to make time for myself. You may see challenges in your life, but you have that stability and knowing who you are and where it is that you are in relation to what it is that's going on around you.
I've always wanted to be an opera singer.
Like in the shower?
Yeah, exactly. You got it in one, just like in the shower.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Estiloz with the SPIELOn Entertainment, and I'm here with Danielle Macdonald to talk about her delightful new romantic comedy, Falling for Figaro. Danielle, it's a pleasure to chat with you.
Hi, you too.
Tell us about this film. I loved it. I really enjoyed every bit of this. I was watching it last night. Tell our audience what the main storyline is about.
Falling for Figaro is a romantic comedy that involves a lot of opera singing. Honestly, I
in a nutshell.
It, yeah, as an operatic rom-com, but in kind of the best way. It's heartwarming and it's funny and it's quirky and it's just a little bit different than your typical rom-com, which was a lot of fun.
One of the things I enjoyed about this film is that it's a film about sort of following your passion, even though you have to make some personal sacrifices along the way. What is it about this film, and particularly your character, that appealed to you the most?
Honestly, when I read it, I just thought that the writing was really different and interesting. Like some of the dialogue, I was like, I wouldn't even begin to know how to say this. Like, how does this come out of one's mouth? And it was because it was so quirky and situational, which was so fun to get to play into, because you have to find the tone of the film. And that's really what drew me in. And I just love the idea of following your dreams at any age, at any stage in your life, no matter what, because you're trying to find your happiness and your passion. I love that.
Some people say an opera singer needs to suffer. These are my rules. No drugs, no visitors, no alcohol.
But I'm staying in a pub.
Yes, ironic, isn't it? Don't think of her as a rival. The girl might have potential. La, come on, la. Where's your tongue? Keep singing.
One of the things that makes this film effective is that there's some great comedic moments. I like the subtlety of some of the comedic moments, though there is an exception of the tongue-tied moment with your co-star Joanna Lumley. What was it like working with her?
She is so much fun. She's just brilliant. She's so on it. She's so good. She's just, there was never a dull moment. I absolutely loved working with the entire cast, honestly. Everyone was amazing, and the crew, everyone was incredible. It was such a fun time, such an easy shoot because of that. And that scene, honestly, I've spoken to some friends and they're like, oh, we've had some weird stuff happen to us when we were training. So it might seem insane, but honestly, I've heard some even more insane stories about opera singing coaches. And I was like, okay, then I'll take it. I'll buy it.
I'm not going to spend the rest of my life as a fund manager. It's not who I am.
Who do you think you are then?
Well, I'm going to give myself the year to find out.
If you want to take the fast track, there is one way. Megan Jeffrey Bishop. You will love her. What do you want?
Singing lessons.
In this movie, there's a lot of singing involved. I'm assuming you didn't do the opera singing, but all of us like to sing in the car or in the shower. So when you're driving along the road, what kind of song is your main jam to sing to?
Oh my gosh. It depends on the mood I'm in. It's either like 80s, like rock, which I absolutely like, pop rock, which is so much fun to belt out, or Little Musical Theater, never is a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like, or like 2000s, like angsty rock. They're kind of like the three very different things that I love to break out to in the car for sure.
Well, it was a pleasure to chat with you, Danielle. I loved this film. I'm looking forward to telling more and more people about it.
Thank you. It was great talking to you too.
I came here to win a singing competition.
Hey, what's happened?
I can't do this.
You deserve the same chance as I do.
And now, the big moment, the winner.
of Singer of Renown is...
It's just all so dramatic. Oh, grow up. Start again, bar 32.
Regenerative procedures come into use if we lose a tooth. And I've had a lot of people come to me and say, well, I had a tooth pulled, and I'll say, okay, has there been any discussion about what comes after that? Because removing the tooth should never be the end all of a discussion when it comes to having to remove a tooth.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
And just when you thought it was over, we have more. We have more. I told you, it's like a roller coaster ride. What is it they always say? Keep your hands and your feet inside the
In
rides.
the vehicle at all times.
At all times, yeah. Vehicle. I mean, what kind of park rides have you been on? Vehicle?
The best ones.
Oh, like safari or what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay. See, these young bucks, they know so much more than we do. This is Jacob Bomey. You know him, you love him if you followed the Spiel, right? That's you. Did you not know they loved you, or you didn't know your name?
Yes.
Okay, both. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. You know, today has been all about doing things a little bit differently, right? Making it the Spiel way, doing it the Spiel way. So, okay, what would you say is hot right now on TikTok? There has to be some sort of a challenge. What's going on TikTok?
Oh God, what isn't going on TikTok? There's always something.
Oh, and the reason that I invited you up, do you want to tell them how you went viral that time, like all those views, and you still get tons of views?
Yeah, I've made a few TikToks.
Yeah, just a few.
Just about 200.
200
about
TikToks.
400.
400 TikToks, and it goes up and up and up. Okay, so what types of things do you do on TikTok?
I do a lot of photography. I do a lot of editing. I do a lot of behind the scenes. I like teaching people. I like showing people how to do things.
Okay. Was it because of someone else you went viral, or was it something that you did that caused you to go viral?
Typically, it's me, but it was a friend of mine that got me on TikTok. So if that's the question, then I think I do owe some of my success to that individual.
Great. Okay. So answer the question. What's the latest, greatest challenge? What are people doing right now?
There are a lot of like high schoolers stealing stuff from their schools, but I don't think that's...
Stealing stuff from... Dude, this is the same generation that's eating Tide Pods, and I mean, these... What's wrong?
If you have a high school aged kid, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like, talk to your parents before you do any type of challenge where you're going to steal and can be locked up, or you eat something, consume something that will kill you.
Aside from that, though, there's always like some dance or something.
Well, you know any of the dances?
No, that's not. I'm on a different side of TikTok.
Different side of TikTok. Okay. All right. So here's what I want to do. You've heard about it, the balance challenge.
Okay.
Have you heard about it?
No.
Okay.
This is new.
It's how women are better at this than men.
Okay.
We actually dominate the field
of
balancing. You've really never done this?
No.
The balance challenge?
I don't think so.
Do you know about the balance challenge? Do you know about the balance challenge? Prescott?
I think I've seen it.
You've seen it? Okay. Well, listen, here's what I want to do first. We're going to prove the theory because I'm going to have the gentleman do it without a female present. And then when I come out, we'll see if I'm any better than you guys. Okay?
All right.
All right. So let me have Prescott and Lucas come up. Go ahead and get down on your knees. You want to back up? Yeah, get down on your knees. That's why I put the carpet there.
All of us?
Yeah, all of you. All right, now, here's what you do. Guys, you go down on your elbows.
Oh.
You've seen it. Now, up here. Okay? Now, hands behind your back.
Nope.
How far forward?
Come on, Lucas, you can do those slides.
Oh, look at Prescott. I think he is in touch with his feminine side.
You gotta lean forward.
He's in touch with his feminine side. So here's what they say. Yeah. That is so good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, good. Okay, so the balance challenge.
Like, this sounds like Lucas got wrecked.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Do you want to? That was really good. That was better than I thought it would be. It was better than even But I love it because it's like causing. I think relationships to improve. When the guy goes,
100%.
"Oh my gosh, she's so much stronger than me. She can hold herself up. I can't."
100%.
100%. Okay. Is there anything else that you have? Anybody before we go? Anybody?
Love each other.
Love each other. Not only was he the first on the set today, prompt, unlike this one, but then the love each other. You like that, Rob?
That was super.
That was super. All right, we're going to be super the next time we come on and just spiel everything everywhere. Stay with us.
Fired up jams and jellies. Delicious, little bit of heat, little bit of heat.
How hot is it?
A little bit of heat, a little bit.
Little bit.
I flipped it again. God dang it.
What's up, guys? I'm Tylar Bryant. Be sure to stick around for the entire show because I'm going to be...
That was good, though. I love that. Stick around.
Yeah, that was great. So
Yeah, I got you.
try that again.
What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Bryant. Be sure to stick around for the entire show because I'm going to be playing my new single, Stay Wild. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
You did.
You play my new single, Stay Wild?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
thought you were still in it.
No. I was like, last I was like, wait, what did I just say?
I was like,
Yeah.
if you're good with that,
I was waiting.
Let me hit it again.
Okay, that was good. That was good.
All right. I didn't know what I was going to say, and I winged it, and I fumbled. Yeah.
Later in the show, we have Fired Up Jams and Jellies. Or is it? Yeah, it's
Jellies and jams?
No, it is Jams and Jellies, but I thought I screwed it up.
So I guess it's gonna be us. Angie had to go do stuff.
All right.
Or she's gonna stand there and laugh. Hold on, let's come back in.
Cut.
That was good.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Don't
that's
cut.
so an
Don't cut.
outtake.
Don't
That
cut.
is so good. I
Don't
love
cut.
that.
Don't cut.
Pick that up and then stand up.
Like just with your back?
No, you gotta pick it up first.
Oh.
And then stand up.